So the other thing is on how to track expenses. So you're handling someone's matter. There are expenses that pop up once in a while in the course of handling that matter, and it's important for you to be able to track those expenses so that you don't end up financing your clients' matters and running into losses. So how do you do that? I'll show you right here. You come to the matter in question. You go to clients because it's the client that you will bill. You go to action. You add expense. So assuming there was what? Maybe you paid disbursement fees. That's the person who billed. It's due today. It's due today because you're paying for them. And then say you paid for them court filing fees, the maximum court filing fees. You will capture it there as court filing fees payment. You can even decide to put in the M-Pesa message if you want to be very specific with your client. All right, and then you add expense. Say you proceed, and then after 2 weeks you're supposed to travel on site and the client did not facilitate you, so you add an expense there that you traveled to site to check the site. So maybe you took a flight, 10,000. Okay, flight to Mombasa to check on the impugned the subject land, assuming it's a litigation matter. Okay, you can add an expense there. And then say after 2 weeks there was a court hearing, and of course if it's your fashion of practice that court attendances are not part of the legal fees, then you also want to raise that expense in form of disbursement. So you'll say attendance of court, that is 5k. Court attendance fees, court attendance fees. Okay, if again it's part of your fashion of practice not to charge fee not the legal fees all inclusive, and you end up doing service, you will capture there as service, say 2,000. Effected service, you add expense. So why are you doing this? You're doing this because all these expenses, if you do not capture them, you will absorb them and they will eat into your legal fees. So you want to capture them so that you can have the entire picture of how much it has costed you to run that brief. This is also important for future reference. You know, you could get a similar brief in future, and then these costings and expenses will give you an indicator of how much you ought to charge in legal fees to your client. Okay, so after you've done this, you will come back here to the client, and you want now to give the client the how much the cost is so that you're reimbursed. You'll come back here to the client, go to actions, and then generate the bill of costs. Okay, so the bill of costs basically gives a summary of how much you charged to as representation. You charged 1 million, 16% that, and then now there is the disbursements, the 70,000 which was charged this day, court filing fees, there's flight to Mombasa, there's court attendance fees, there's effected service. So in total, your client ought to pay you 2,247,000. Okay. So this helps you with taxation matters. It helps you keep track of the expenses of your matters. It helps you being on top of things, basically. Okay. So that's it. I've already even shown you how you can do your taxation. So in case you want to, you are apprehensive that your matter might end up in taxation, you can use this feature to be always capturing the minute details of how you spend for your client. And then when the taxation day comes, it is easier. You can either use this directly because we've factored in the exact format, or you can use this as a guide to capture the exact dates and the exact transactions that you undertook. It's already pre-filled with the advocates that should be served and with your law firm details. So it's pretty comprehensive, but that's what Patafile is all about. Cheers.